A few years back, Oksana and Herman stood side by side, full of promise, vowing to build a life together. Herman, a fiercely driven entrepreneur, had been pouring his soul into his business, inching it forward day by day. And with his steady support, Oksana was finally able to chase a long-suppressed dream, fashion design. He gifted her a sewing machine and transformed a spare room into a studio, her personal sanctuary. That single act of belief ignited something in her. What began as casual stitching projects quickly evolved into something more. Friends admired her work, then placed orders. Acquaintances became clients. Encouragement flooded in. Herman didn't just cheer from the sidelines. He backed her completely, financing her travels to exclusive workshops and design courses, always pushing her toward excellence. In the early days of Herman's business, things weren't easy. Long hours, uncertain deals, and empty bank accounts were the norm. But then Vladimir entered the picture, an old college buddy with sharp mind and silver tongue. He saw potential in Herman's vision and slowly, almost seamlessly, became an integral part of the operation. Their partnership bloomed into something formidable. Herman leaned on him more than he realized, trusting him with decisions, data, and direction. Life, for once, felt full. His company was thriving, his marriage felt secure, and their home was warm with laughter and shared ambition. One afternoon, as a surprise for Oksana, Herman decided to do something meaningful. He remembered a tiny jewelry boutique he'd once passed, known for its intricate custom designs. He stopped by, described his idea, and worked with the artisans to create something truly special, a white gold ring, detailed with gemstones shaped to mimic gentle ocean waves, a tribute to their first meeting by the sea. It took weeks of work and whispered anticipation. When he finally presented it to her, Oksana was visibly moved. She wore the ring proudly, alongside her wedding band, like a second vow etched in metal and memory. Months passed. Life returned to its rhythm, until one evening, after a long, draining day, Herman came home expecting quiet comfort. Over dinner, something felt off. Her fingers were bare. "Where's your ring?" he asked, trying to mask the unease in his voice. "I scratched it while sewing," she said, almost too casually. "Took it to get repaired." "You should have told me. I could have brought it back to the jeweler who made it." She laughed softly, brushing it off. "It's just a small fix. I can handle it." The next morning, Herman left early, catching public transport, his car still sitting in the mechanic's garage. But that conversation clung to him. How exactly did she scratch a ring while sewing? Oksana was prone to small accidents, sure, but something didn't sit right. Later that day, late for an important negotiation, Herman couldn't find a cab. Frustration rising, he scanned the street, then froze. Vladimir's car was parked nearby. Odd. Vladimir had called in sick that morning. Just then, Vladimir stepped out of a nearby store, clutching a small bag. Herman raised an eyebrow. "You're up and about," he said coolly. "Thought you were homesick." There was a brief flicker in Vladimir's eyes, a pause, too long to ignore, before he smiled. "Yeah, feeling better. Just needed to grab a few things." Herman nodded slowly. "Since you're here, mind giving me a ride to the business center? I'm running late." They drove in silence for a moment before Vladimir switched gears, bringing up something they'd been dancing around for months. The need to formalize their business relationship, equal stakes and all. Herman listened, outwardly calm, but something gnawed at him. The timing, the sudden appearance, the forced ease in Vladimir's voice. Mid-conversation, Herman reached for a water bottle in the back seat. That's when he saw it, lying on the floor mat, glinting in the light. A ring. Her ring. Time slowed. He picked it up, turned it over. No mistaking it. The same ocean wave design, the same white gold sheen. His wife's ring, the one she claimed was at the repair shop. A cold knot formed in his chest. Pieces of the puzzle snapped into place. The scratched ring, the repair shop, Vladimir's illness, his absence from work, and now, the damning evidence lying inches away. Vladimir wasn't just a partner angling for more power in the business. He had been angling for something far worse. Oksana! Herman didn't wait to explode. He didn't shout. He didn't threaten. The betrayal was too deep for noise. By the time he returned to the office, Vladimir's access was revoked. Every shared document, every login, every privilege, gone. His name was erased from the business like chalk under rain. The company, legally registered under Herman's name alone, left Vladimir with nothing but memories of what could have been. That evening, Herman walked into the home he had once built with love and called Oksana to the living room. He held out her ring, his eyes hollow. This was in Vladimir's car. She didn't deny it. She didn't even try. Her face paled. Her voice caught in her throat, and in that silence, the truth spilled everywhere. Herman told her to leave. No argument. No drama. Just finality. She begged, cried, apologized. But Herman didn't flinch. There was no space left for forgiveness. Her bags were packed. The rest of her belongings arrived days later via courier, a cold, quiet goodbye. Oksana turned to Vladimir, seeking comfort in the man she gambled everything for. But what she found wasn't love. It was ruin. Vladimir, stripped of his position and credibility, failed to land on his feet. With no business to fall back on, his finances unraveled. And soon, Oksana found herself bearing the weight, supporting them both while her own passion for fashion faded under the pressure of survival. The romance dissolved into resentment. Eventually, she walked out, took shelter with a friend, and filed for divorce. Alone, she tried once to reach back into the past, to reconnect with Herman, to apologize. He never responded. For Herman, the chapter was closed, sealed shut with betrayal and silence. He poured himself into his business, into building something enduring and unshakable. The pain didn't vanish, but it sharpened his focus, and he never looked back.